Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you now game 4 in this series between Creator versus MKP here on Cloud Kingdom. Creator spawning as the blue Protoss on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, red Terran player MKP on the bottom left. And so far, the games have really gone in a very interesting direction. Game 1, MKP opening up with a rather unusual, I would have to say, one base, almost all in heavy pressure tactic. That really, well, from game 2 and game 3 though, pretty much mirrored games, or sorry, excuse me, not mirrored, just identical games on different maps where MKP had an advantage, pressed it, things didn't go well for him, and then Creator was just able to come back in with a major economic advantage, a major tech advantage. And game 3, I really think it came down to 6 Vikings that were lost somewhere on the map. And I gotta believe that if MKP had actually been watching the minimap and actually spotted his units, he would have utilized them and not fell prey to those Colossi early on. So far it looks like MKP doing a much more traditional barracks first instead of the CC first. And we also see Creator now coming in. Creator has been scouting out relatively early in all of the matchups in order to figure out what he needs to do in order to counter his opponent. Creator is going to spot that it's going to be a standard barracks followed by refinery, and with this barracks followed by refinery, we may see a typical game come in as we are going into an assimilator pylon off over here by Creator. And I like also the timing on this, as that he didn't really warp in his pylon until he needed to. He will never be supply blocked, and perhaps even delaying a zealot a little bit. He is going to be just getting out more probes, getting up the cybernetics core, and he used the same probe to build a pylon and the assimilator. One of those small things that professional players do in order to get every last mineral out of each of their mining probes. Every time you pull a probe off of minerals in order to warp in a building, that is mining time lost. So utilizing that trick a little bit there perhaps gave him 3 to 5 more minerals, but then again 5 minerals could be the difference between a zealot coming out in or coming out 3 to 5 seconds earlier, which then could translate into more dead Marines. We are going into a barracks with a reactor followed by a second barracks, so this will be heavy Marine pressure coming in relatively early on. Supply depot not anywhere in sight for MKP, but then again he has a little bit of supply cap. Finally getting that supply depot there. Meanwhile, Creator looks like he is just going to be doing a 1 gate, and we're seeing what his next building will be, as that will be the telltale indicator of what is going down. Assimilator already coming in as well. We could be going into some additional gateways. Yes, it is going to be 2 additional gateways. I'm surprised that there isn't a third one at this point, as a 4-gate strategy would be pretty common. I still don't see a robotics facility, and this is all coming to me just as a little bit strange, as you normally need a robotics facility in order to make sure that you're not getting pressured by cloaked banshees. But perhaps he did see the second barracks? No, he only saw 1 barracks, but he did see a reactor placed down, and perhaps he just knows his opponent's build. Stalkers are walking out across the map, perhaps hoping to come across a stray unit or 2. There are Marines and Marauders now trekking out across the map as well. We are going into stim. We are training up a lot more Marines to follow this up. 1 probe will quickly get taken down as the Stalker chasing after the SCV, and the SCV will see that natural expansion already being established, and knowing that there isn't going to be that much that he needs to deal with. Now, MKP could have taken the opportunity, by knowing that the expansion is up, to engage with these Marines. He is going to leave 1 Marine behind. He wants to make sure that no units are able to slip by inside. There is also some Stalkers here, 1 Stalker here, and that Stalker does need to make it back into the cover of its home, otherwise it may get taken down. So far, there is 1 Stalker on the ramp, 2 Stalkers on the ramp here, only 1 Marine here, and MKP, would he have been able to engage and actually win in this fight? I'm not sure, but he may have at least been able to force a cancellation if it wasn't if he didn't have to engage on these ramps. 1-4 Marine does get taken down, and both sides are just sitting inside their relative bases still. We are going into more barracks. We are transitioning into a starport with a reactor on the factory. It is going to be that Terran bio play, and we'll see what Creator's response will be. So far, still running on 3 gateways. He's going to be going to 3 gate with robotics facility, so he will have Colossi with extended thermal lance range pretty easily, since he's going to be running up on 4 gas. Taking a look at the strategies and the pace, no one's going to be engaging anytime soon. Marines just grouping together here, and this, so far, a pretty standard game. This is one of those times when I really wish I had a co-caster, because there's not much really to talk about. So if there was a stream, I'd say, hey, hi, how you guys doing? You guys can talk to me. But pretty much nothing else. Okay, it looks like an observer is going to be able to come in and take a look around, and with that, Creator is not going to be playing in the dark nearly as much. Second observer also joining in, and with this, Creator should know what his opponent has. Surprisingly, MKP has not gone for upgrades this time around, but he is destroying these destructible rocks here, which does make the walking distances between these bases a little bit faster, by making it so that they don't have to do as much of a zigzag in order to get from one location to another. Marines and Marauders. Oh, one quick observer was shot down there. I'm not 100% sure how MKP has actually spotted that, unless the observer was on follow instead of stationary. A following observer is always a little bit easier to spot, as we now see another observer retreating all the way back. Creator currently sitting on 2 bases so far. It looks like this factory could get taken down very, very quickly, and the Marines and the Marauders are going to try to take down more destructible rocks. The factory already down to 400 some odd hit points, 300 some odd hit points, and now at this point you should just let it burn and get back to your ramp. Not 100% sure what Creator is thinking there, as the Marines and the Marauders are now just simply going to walk it up onto the high ground, and with no choke point, Creator is going to be in a dangerous situation. Elevator drop up onto the high ground. Marines will be able to take down this pylon pretty easily. There is a Colossus over there. The Colossus may be able to clean it up, but the Marines doing a little bit of a dance back inside the base. How much damage can they do? Nope, not very much. 2 Marines are lost in that engagement there, as the Colossus just simply going to try to follow those units. Stalkers will warp in, not be able to shoot down the medevacs, as Creator, with a smaller supply or a smaller army overall now, gonna be able to fend off this attack and buy some time. Now at this stage, a 3rd base is on both of these players' minds, but a 3rd base is very difficult to establish on this map. Marines now getting back over here. We are going into 1-1 upgrades. Meanwhile, Creator throwing down 3 quick pylons. He is supply blocked, and he has plenty of resources to just warp in more units, perhaps even triple Zealots if he wanted to. There's those triple Zealots. Medevac now coming in for a drop. Zealots are back off over here. Colossus, Stalker now trying to make their way in, and the Stalkers are getting off some easy shots. Will one Medevac get taken down is the question. Yes, it does. 1 low hit point Medevac get taken down, as the Marines and the Marauders get caught off over here as well. And Creator now taking the supply advantage up by about 9. A huge move there, and MKP will be forced to retreat and return home. And the observer positioning here on the map, absolutely key in making sure that drops never came in from anywhere. Vikings are joining in on the fight, training up 2 Vikings at a time, but that means that there's only, I believe, 1 medevac in play, and this is one of those situations where you need to have double starports if you lose those medevacs. If you lose those medevacs early on, that hurts your Viking numbers, and if it hurts your Viking numbers, then that means that you cannot finish off those Colossi before the Stalkers finish off the Vikings. And at that point, things just go from bad to worse. We see that it is 6 Vikings in this group, 1 still in ground mode, I believe. Yeah, right there. We are getting into 8. I think is it 10 in order to get a 2-shot off with Guardian Shield. I think that's the number. 10, what, 240, 200, 200 plus the additional 1 on the Colossus's base armor. Oh, no, Protoss has a base 2 armor. Okay, so you need about 12 in order to 2-shot in the evolution. No, it's 14, so it's 28. Alright, 28 down to 24, 24, 20, yeah, maybe. 10, I think, is the magic number there. Alright, trying to do math on the run as Stalkers are backing off once again. Vikings still dancing around on the high ground. We are going into the armory upgrades, and we should be seeing an engagement here in just a moment. Vikings could easily just get off a round of attack and perhaps take down a Colossus, as the numbers are not in their favor. Stalkers getting out some easy shots, beautiful force fields on the ramp. As we are now currently even on supply. Stalkers blinking back as well, right as they lost all their shields. So some beautiful play coming in by Creator, as we are going up to 3 bases. Creator already established up his 3rd. Meanwhile, MKP just established up his 3rd. And Creator going to have a small economic advantage moving in. But one important thing to note, both sides not really that worker heavy, 51 to 56. So it's not like they're able to easily saturate the number of mineral patches that they currently have. Alright, here we go. Vikings, Marauders, Marines, only 1 medevac. That 1 medevac taking care of a lot of boys on the ground. And we'll see if it's going to be enough, as the Stalkers and Colossi are going to engage. Oh, we could have a flank here, and this is going to be a very bad flank. And you can see that the Marauders and the Marines cannot walk back up that ramp. The Vikings are engaging. The Vikings will take down the Colossi, but not before many of the units are getting destroyed. Creator does have a supply advantage there. You can see both sides still engaging. All of the Colossi all the Colossi have been taken down. But with only 1 medevac to heal, a lot of the Marauders and the Marines are just going to be addicted to those drugs. Stalkers chasing forward, getting off a little bit more damage still. Will they be able to get off another blink? It is a 10-second cooldown. There's another blink, finishing off even more Marines, and perhaps even taking down the last medevac. No more medevacs on the field, and Creator really outlasted his opponent in that fight. He had better upgrades, 1-2 upgrades, compared to 1-1. So better upgrades, and also just taking out or losing all of those Colossi, but he was able to get a proper good flank, having his units here and here as well, making it very difficult for MKP to do his normal retreat path, being forced to come back down and utilize this ramp, and with that just took an actual just beating. Hopefully he can get back into this game, and I will cast a very, very epic game for MKP, as right now this would be a brilliant comeback for MKP, who is currently down by about, 31 supply here. Archons are now being added, and without Ghost without Ghost coming in from MKP, I don't know how he's going to handle these Archons. Marines and Marauders are being added. The Marines actually have a more effective DPS than Marauders against Archons, as Archons are not armored units, but do have a whole bunch of shields to absorb a lot of that damage before they do get taken down. Stalker's pushing back a factory there. Psystorm still could be researched. We'll see if it is in the cards or not. Double training medevacs, and we are getting that second starport that is oh so important excuse me. Where is that second starport? I see it. Where is it? Yeah, second starport is being added somewhere. There it is. So important if you want to keep up both Vikings and medevacs. Unfortunately, that is also very gas intensive, as we now see level 3 weapons upgrade and level 1 shield upgrades coming in. The Colossi now with base 4 armor, meaning that those Marines and those Marauders are not dealing as much. Dealing, I believe, 4 damage per attack. The Marauders a little bit better at 20 damage per attack. Colossi, Archons now making a move, and how much damage can they do? Vikings are going to be in position. The Vikings may be able to shoot down 1 Colossus or 2. Has to be very careful. Creator now backing away. Going to be, I believe, supply blocked. We are getting a proxy pylon, and Creator may be trying to finish this off here in just a moment. Immortals, Zealots now coming in, and there are 3 Colossi in the group. And this 1 orbital command not going to stick around for very long. Already down to 300 some odd hit points. There it goes, as the Zealots quickly surround and finish off more Marines. In comes a base race trade, though, as straight up the middle, Marines now just going to be getting inside here. High Templar going to get taken down very, very easily. And who comes out in this base race is going to be the key question. Normally, the more buildings you have in a base race, the better you are off. And with Creator sitting at 198, he is in a better situation. Overall, there is a lot of resources. All the SCVs trying to run away. Stalkers are going to finish off. Perhaps if they can take down an orbital command or two, that would be enough, as there is not going to be enough of an economy to get back into the swing of things. Barracks now trying to fly away. You can see more Marauders and Marines making their way in. A command center is floating off over here, and with no anti-air, or with no air units, Creator may not be able to finish off that building hiding off in the corner. You can see that all the barracks are getting taken down. More Marauders and Marines. Another Nexus has been taken down. Still about a 35 supply advantage for Creator, as we see mass photon cannons being added. Stalkers are trying to blink away. The High Templars do have no Psystorm as research. Wow, so Creator was hoping to utilize Psystorm, didn't research it, and now you see a whole bunch of resources lost because those photon cannons did not warp in. Zealots could one Zealot's going to finish off the rest of the buildings here. Creator sitting on a 34 supply advantage. Marauders and the Marines are upgraded 2-2. Meanwhile, Archons will be 3-1 upgraded in just a moment. But a lot of key tech buildings are still here. We need to see another pylon here in order to warp in. And it's 102 versus 140. Zealots are going to try to engage. SCVs coming in as well. Massive burning of buildings as the barracks are all landing. Vikings need to get in a very good shot here, as the Zealots making it so that making a very good meat shield and going to be finishing a lot of those SCVs off. Archons have to be careful, as the Stalkers should have been going after the Vikings as opposed to that barracks there. Alright, the units are, both sides are getting ready. There is a command center right here, a command center off over here as well. Needs to call down a mule in order to repair it. Otherwise, this command center will be lost. Only 2 buildings are left. The Observer is looking for the buildings, has spotted one. The Zealot could easily take down this orbital command, and with that, 1 building stands away between victory and defeat for Creator, and I believe Creator should be able to find that 1 building without any real issue. Vikings now making a move back. We are going to see the medevac still coming back in off over here. A little bit, you cannot really split his units. If he splits his units, and that army may be able to take down even more buildings. The Observer should really be on patrol. Not quite sure why they are not, in order to gain proper sight. Psystorm is now being researched as well. Archons and High Templars could be utilized here. 2-2 upgrades. The medevacs and pretty much all full on hit points. The Vikings really there to try to counter the Colossi, and is it going to be enough, as the Zealots are now trying to make their way up inside the base? This could be a bad engagement for MKP, as he is sitting up all right here, all grouped together, where Splash can do a lot of tremendous damage. Stalkers now trying to get in position, unable to do so, and I believe this one Zealot is looking for the bases, and he has not yet checked this. In comes the Marauders and the Marines, still finishing off even more buildings. 163 compared to 100, as the Archons, the one Colossus almost gets taken down from there. Archon's going to try to push their way up, going to take a lot of damage. This is a bad engagement by Creator, but he should have enough. Will he be able to finish it off? The Stalkers, Archons now pushing in, and there's some Psystorm finally, as the Archons are still trying to give chase. Zealots now reinforcing as well. Up on the high ground, 42, more Psystorm coming in. Medevacs now going to be unloading onto the low ground here, and they may have a free run into this base. Oh, there was a feedback there. Are we going to perhaps see a Psystorm here in just a moment? A Psystorm, no, a double feedback onto more of the medevacs, and with that, no more retreat, no more escape, and there's the GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this series between MKP and Creator Prime.